Yes, we're back.
Ah! All right, sorry.
Wow. I like that
Intensity.
that wasn't wow. I can see it's going to be a good episode. Guys, welcome back to the Matt Chat Podcast. Yours truly, Paul Ciotto, Christopher Shea, Peter Olberg, Cousin Frank. Yes, we're back, and I just want to show everyone again, this is one stick.
Let's
hope
it doesn't get broken out today.
I'm going to tell you, this one stick has such an aura and presence that it's curtailed certain behavior here in the podcast. And I'm just going to say that
this podcast
again, the discipline stick, and it doesn't hurt rather, that what wields this discipline stick
are those 5 arms?
is a set of 6 arms.
Oh, those are 6 arms?
Those
aren't 4 arms.
These are 6
Those
arms.
are 6 arms.
6 arms connected to upper legs, if we want to be specific. Okay? So the discipline stick is fantastic.
Connected
to
upper legs.
So we're going to place the discipline stick right here. Producer extraordinaire Peter Olberg, he came up with this.
Within reach.
He wants me, yes, for me to, if in case, just to demonstrate, if I have to reach, because I'm an athlete.
In slow-mo.
Come down. And I want to do is, it's all about timing and distance. So you want to have enough length.
Definitely precision.
Yes,
too.
precision tool where you can grasp the discipline stick, rotate
But being
it.
an athlete equally myself.
Exactly. Rotate, look, so you don't smash the video equipment.
I would go like
don't
this.
hit Frank
Miss Cuzzy
with this.
Frank.
Miss Cuzzy Frank. Rotate off the seat so it can go where it was supposed to go, where it's been designed to go. Here. So other than that, just give you a little background and show and tell with the discipline stick. So guys, we have a great topic today. So
We have a topic that's about bullshit, to be honest with you.
yeah, it's a great topic and it is bullshit. And what we'll talk about is this: is obviously, we're all big fans of combat sports, martial arts, traditional sports. We're sportsmen, Obviously, we have what we particularly
We're breakdancers
yeah,
also,
I
but
like
we're
it.
sportsmen.
I like it. So my point is that, we obviously have our own preferences and stuff. So I don't know how many of you out there have watched the last UFC when John Jones made his return.
I didn't watch it.
If you don't know anything about this, and you say you're into jiu-jitsu or MMA, your ass has been in the fucking dark.
Yeah.
I personally didn't watch it on
It's so
purpose.
mainstream now that you should know.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, it's like the NFL now. But so just to put it in context and give you a little background that I'm gonna pass on to the guys is that John Jones has failed multiple drug tests for performance-enhancing drugs. He's tested positive for cocaine. He hasn't been really a good boy,
Hit and run. I mean, like a
yeah,
whole
he's
bunch
just
of.
not been a good guy. I mean, fantastic athlete, probably the best pound for pound ever.
Excellent
I heard he technically dodoesn't do cocaine. He just enjoys the smell of it.
Yeah. But that aside, which is probably true, he actually was allowed to fight again, which is even funnier for the fact that he dropped dime on some people, so they reduced his sentence.
Well, they're saying
Yeah.
his next fight is already being called, and they're going to do it in Vegas, pending everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, so pending he passes the drug test is what you're saying.
Or they'll do it in another state, provided it meets his needs.
Well, that's where we are today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shut my mouth and segue over to Chris, and he'll explain what he's exactly. If you haven't seen it, you'll understand why. Begin.
I gotta just be honest. I was actually hyped up for this fight. Now, do I think Gustafsson is the fighter he was back then? Absolutely not. Do I still think it's going to be a good fight? Sure, I'm excited to see it. But more importantly, I was legitimately excited to see John Jones have his comeback.
Right.
I got to be honest. He was maybe the greatest of all times.
Sure.
So to watch somebody like that have all these trials and tribulations, now come back for his fight, supposedly he's drug-free, let's see just what this guy can do, not on PEDs.
But so let me ask you this. Let's address this first. I'm not saying the guy's not amazing because he's phenom.
And he comes from a family of amazing athletes
Yeah,
also.
but why someone versus someone like Dillashaw or Mighty Mouse who has multiple belts or been a champion for so long? Why is a guy like John Jones spoken about the best of all?
I'll tell you
time?
why. It's simple. He comes back and he's better each time.
Yeah.
Even through all the trials, like he's a better fighter. Like,
But is he?
there's
Like
no-
Gustafsson's been on a 13-month layoff just as or
But when you watch the fight, and I watched it, Gustafsson was a shadow of the guy that fought him the first time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And Jones made adjustments and shut him down.
Yeah.
And even Gustafsson said, he goes, I couldn't do anything.
anything, yeah.
So, i.e., what I'm speaking about, he's that much better.
Yeah.
So my point is, yeah, he can go and live in a cave for 2 years and comes back and he kicks the crap out of everybody and he's even better. There's no ring rust. There's no there's no this. He's a freak. I think he's an asshole as a person, but he's a freak athlete.
Sure.
And here's the thing. Let's be honest. There's half-lives to steroids. They're going to be in your system for certain periods of time. Now, I was told that the stuff that he was taking should have been out of his system long before then. A lot of times what those guys will do is they'll microdose leading up to the fight with the expectation of it being out. Did he do that? Did he not do that?
No, he didn't.
I don't know.
He did not.
Do you think it was a microdose and the metabolites that they're testing for is the stuff to help get everything else out?
No.
What do you think?
Because to my understanding,
not-
he failed 2 tests, passed like 6 in a row. Then this newest test came back and it was even higher in regards
Correct,
to the amount of
which
people.
tells me he's microdosing.
He's doing something.
He's doing something.
Did you read that? Because I read the opposite.
No, I read that.
No, that's what I read.
That's what I read.
He tested positive
Yeah.
a few times, then he was clear for 6. Then
Which
the
makes
last one
sense
he did.
because it's getting out of his system. Then he was fine.
And I also want to know if he's going to test positive, what the test is after the
The
fight
fight.
day. Yeah, 'cause
Well, the
we still
problem
have-
is this: from what
that should actually be incorporated. They should start testing you right after you fight too.
well, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
And what happened then on the test post fight?
They haven't said anything yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
here's the thing: because these metabolites are in the system at the same picograms, they call it, they were no greater, and they were sometimes less than when they were tested before. It's the chemical composition of this particular drug that he took that is not. Maybe it's almost like fat soluble. It's not leaving his system.
Yeah,
What
but
I
how
just-
did he test positive on
Well,
those
that's
other
what I
ones then?
scratched my head about.
But here's the thing: he subjected himself to the drug testing.
No,
the whole time.
I watch this. And
So that's my
here's
thing.
part of my problem too. You know what? All this went down, I get it. What happens by Dana moving a whole venue, you know what that tells me? It tells me that this guy's untouchable too, which I find
Well, it's not that he's untouchable.
undigestible.
Here's the
I don't like it at all.
Here's the issue.
Maybe he doesn't get in trouble or sanctioned or anything, but at least wait until he's able to come up.
There's a lot of things to unpack here. Continue.
between USADA and Nevada State Athletic Commission, which is
Yeah,
they govern
yeah,
everybody.
Gold standard.
They weren't going to give him a license until they did their diligence as to why it was.
Yeah.
But from a standpoint of the picogram,
So he shouldn't have to fight. He shouldn't be allowed to fight until they do their diligence.
But here's the thing: the picograms were the same, so he didn't break the law. But they have to go through their diligence. And Nevada State Athletic Commission takes forever to do anything. So here you are, you've built this venue up.
I get
I
that.
understand from a standpoint of business why they did it.
No, well,
I get it.
100%. I get that.
Business is why they did it.
But you're
he
trying to
did-
bring a guy back. You're trying to show,
Listen,
try to
he's-
get the fan base behind him again, and it's
tainted.
hard to grab onto
He's
this guy.
tainted anyway.
He's tainted.
Yeah.
He's tainted, and people don't care.
But my issue is
I
this.
care.
My issue is this.
I care.
Yeah.
Why are we dancing around what everybody fucking knows already? Before this problem, you sat down with anybody and go, let me ask you a question. You think some of these fighters are taking steroids? Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. But my issue is whether
But
they
here's
want,
the rules.
But
Don't get caught.
but-
I tell my kids this all the time. I don't care when you're in school. I don't care if you burn the school down. I don't care if you cheat on every test. As long as you don't get caught, it don't exist in my world.
Fine, but if they do
And
get caught,
personally,
they
now
have
you're
to-
dead.
But
Now
everybody
you're
has
dead.
to be
If
treated
you
the
get
same.
caught, now
But
you're
everybody
dead.
has to be treated the same. You can't sit there and be like, hey, Frank Mir, you got caught with the same fucking shit. 2 years suspension. Hey,
it's
so and
gotta
so,
be
you got
consistent.
caught with this. Another suspension. Oh, hey, John Jones. Oh, you're coming back. Oh,
You have
hey,
an hour
you hit a
suspension.
pregnant woman. You ran. You came back, got your money and drugs. You left again. You came back, tested positive. You were suspended for almost 2 years. Then they cut it short. Then you came back. They got you a fight. You tested positive again. We moved the venue. Name any other time they moved the venue for another fighter.
Never. Thank you.
Never.
Never.
Sorry,
I'm with
see you
you.
next Sunday. We got a backup fight that we're going to get. They move the fucking venue. Then they sit there and preface it with this, hey, actually, it may be possible that he could have this stuff in the system for 7 years. So what you're telling me is that he's not only possibly going to test positive in the future, he 100% is going to test positive in the future, and they're going to fucking shift everything they need to shift around to make everything nice.
Absolutely.
I think they spent too much money,
And
too much money buying it. They go to Dana, you got to fucking figure out how to make this thing successful, and he's doing what he needs to. I got no problem with it, but make it the same for everybody. Don't sit there and
If it
say.
was up to me, put everybody on steroids. Let's have fucking
Go crazy.
300-pound guys
Go crazy.
ripping each other's heads
no
off.
No doubt, but they're not doing that. It's like they didn't even have to test in the beginning. They didn't have to. They decided to do it to try to make it seem sexier to different states to try to get themselves
It
sanctioned.
was all about commissioning. I mean, but listen, I'm going to answer your question. If it doesn't make dollars,
It don't make
It
sense.
don't make fucking sense. And guess what? Why do you think?
Yeah, but
Why?
But then why
Let me-
do that
let me
with Frank
finish.
Mir? Why do that with other
Because
guys?
it's the fight business.
And
You
those guys
understand
don't have the
something?
same draw.
It doesn't
That's
make
the
a
reality.
difference. It doesn't make. You're right. If it doesn't make a difference, if it's prize fighting, boxing, if it's kickboxing, if it's mixed martial arts,
If it's baseball.
if it's any, but I'm no,
Yeah, I know.
no,
Yeah.
it's don't include baseball. We're including combat. I'm using all combat sports. It's about what they can draw. The closest thing you can relate it to is professional wrestling. They put the two biggest guys in the ring, but seriously, who's gonna fucking watch them? So guess what? It's the draw. Hopefully, you're gonna get two of the best guys in the world to fight. All right? McGregor has made a career doing that. He fights only the best guys. He puts himself out of his weight class. He's a fucking true stud in that context. He fights the best guys even out of his comfort zone. Here's the point. Daniel Cormier. I love the guy. Stud. Why is he fighting Brock Lesnar? It's a money fight.
Of course.
Yeah.
He should fight Jones.
Right.
If you're a silver medalist, if you're the double champ, if you're X, Y, and Z, then pull your fucking pants up and,
Where?
and fight
Where though?
anywhere.
Where at light heavyweight or at heavyweight?
Heavyweight. And that's where his leverage
But
comes
he
in.
won't go up. Jones wants him to come down.
No, Jones has to come up. He's the double champ.
I agree.
Yeah.
So guess what? That's what Cormier has the leverage and says, no, fuck you.
You want
want
to
to fight
it?
the champ?
That's it. You come
come
on.
to
But
me.
you think
Exactly.
maybe that's why you think he's playing it that way? Because he's got to know.
No,
He's
listen.
got to know. Because
I
I
agree,
think
but
he wants that
but-
fight
but-
too.
I think-
I just think he wants it on his own.
but is he going to fight
But
this
he should.
steroid or is he going to fight this steroid?
No, but that's to finish what I was trying to say is, Brock Lesnar hasn't been back since he tested positive. He owes he owes Nevada State Athletic Commission a $250,000 fine. He hasn't paid yet.
Really?
He doesn't have a
Yes.
chin.
We're not even talking about that. We're talking about the business part of it. And the fact of the matter is, he don't care. Do you think Brock Lesnar cares about when Frank Mir demolished him?
No,
I mean, when Cain Velasquez demolished him, he walked away with a rich man again.
Right.
So at the end of the day, take out the fact that anyone can be beaten at any given time. You're getting a crossover audience. Former UFC heavyweight champ, WWE star, fighting the double champ. It's a payday where they can walk off into the sunset. No one gives
Regardless
a
of
shit.
who wins.
And it's that showmanship, that freak show part of the fight game that comes out. I don't watch boxing anymore. I watched Deontay Wilder fight Tyson Fury. I bought the pay-per-view. It was one of the best fights I ever saw in my life. That guy got up. It was a Rocky. You thought he was winning. He got robbed. It should have been a draw. Tyson Fury won that fight. Period.
The meme of the Undertaker song
Yeah,
coming
but like
on.
him, but like him, he was out. And meanwhile, that's how the balls and the toughness of that guy. He's listening to the ref. He laid there to the 7 count and then got himself up, knowing I'm going to take
Take that
every
ref.
second to get. And then he got up and went after him. Okay, here you have it again. You had two big personalities. It made a ton of money, right? But these
was a
are
great fight.
It was the best fight of the year, as far as I'm concerned. These are the anomalies in professional combat sports. They look for the anomaly. Why? The butts in the buckets and the money. Okay, and let's face it, it's a fucking horrible. It's a very, very difficult way to make a living. You know what I mean? And no other professional sport where you're going into a venue where the guy's trying to knock you out, choke you out, okay, beat on you for 5 rounds, right?
Yep.
There's a big difference in it. So I don't dispute anything you guys are saying, but you got to understand why it's done.
Oh, no.
know?
Listen, I'm just saying from an enthusiast's point of view,
Right.
it just sucks.
But I'm an enthusiast like you. Guess what? Let them take what they want. Regulate it. But I'm serious. Go under medical dosage. See physicians. Let them regulate what they need. And to be honest with you,
As
guys,
long as it's consistent across the board,
guys
that's
fighting
fine.
in there from 35 on need it.
Yeah.
Okay? So you want to make it safer for them? Guess what? Why do you think Vitor Belfort is not the same guy? He was in his late 30s. He's not the same. His body can't take the training. Guess what? Don't be a fucking idiot about it, okay? Understand the science of it. Understand that you got these clinics all over the country. You got people that are doing this stuff for health reasons.
HRT.
So let these professional athletes do the same thing. Medically supervise it. That's my opinion on it. You know, when you're doing what you're doing, you're forcing them to go and break the law. You're forcing them to go and take dirty shit. You're forcing them to go and take something like he took where, oh God, it's never come out of my system now. And now on top of all the other shit he did wrong, this is going to keep coming up. The guy could legitimately never take another fucking thing, but this is stuck in his, maybe it's, I don't know
Fat
enough
soluble.
the chemistry, it's fat soluble and it's going nowhere.
But why do we play this game? Anybody who's watched Icarus as well understands what I'm talking about. You look at the NFL. You got to be an idiot to look at any of those
guys
players aren't taking steroids. And you have to be an even bigger idiot to not realize that the NFL totally fucking knows. That's why they announce when they're getting tested.
Yeah.
But why do we play this game? Why do we do this whole like, oh look, my players don't take anything, it's all clean, blah blah blah. And even though you know, why not just open the floodgates? I mean, the guy, I forget his name, the main person in Icarus who did all the testing for Russia and then came to the United States and now he's hiding because they're worried about him getting killed.
Right.
He tells you, he goes, the science is way ahead of the testing.
Heck yeah, it is.
And it's and I've had so many guys test negative that were competing, etc. You know that's happening here in the United States. Why do we play this game? Everything's great. Why do we play this game?
I agree.
It's more fun to watch when they're on the stuff.
Listen,
Yeah, but why do we play if you know they are, you're pretending that they're not. We know that you know that they are and that they're pretending, but then you sit there and say, oh, you know, they tested with USADA. Like, is it for the
It's for the
money?
kids.
Yeah,
It's for the kids. It's for the kids coming
Well,
up
what?
saying, hey.
You think the kids don't know? When I was in high school, you know how many times I got told, hey, or in college, they know. The coaches know. Half the time it's the coaches who are assisting you with it. Come on.
Chris said something probably at the beginning of when we started the podcast. You said something
I
about,
said, no, that wasn't it.
It's about time. It's about time.
I'm going to give you a pass on that.
You're gonna get a wood injection.
Okay,
But I did
so-
say that though. So in my,
You didn't even hear what I had to say yet. So what I'm saying is you made a point about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa hitting 75.
that was fun to watch, man.
I like
It
to
got.
watch that.
I hate baseball. It got me to watch baseball.
Yeah. So, and bottom line is, it kind of alludes to what we're talking about here. But I think the other part of it is that look at the science of it. Okay, it's about longevity and health. Okay, and many too many times, people bastardize the usage of these things as it being long-term health issues. Of course, like anything else, you drink alcohol like a fucking fish every day, it's going to kill you. But then
You
again,
take your blood pressure medicine.
but then
it's going to
again,
tox your
but then
liver. Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
but then again, you also should drink a glass of wine a day or a beer a day because of the alcohol, because of what the medicinal effects of alcohol and different like beer. Beer, and realize if you drink a beer a day, it's good for you. There's silicon in the beer, which is great for your joints. It's filled with B12, which is great. B vitamin, which is great for your whole body. The alcohol has its medicinal effects and cleansing effects, right? But no one's going out and saying, hey, go drink a case of beer a day or a case of wine a day because it'll kill you.
Correct.
All right? It's the same
Moderation.
thing with everything. When you do it in moderation, but even not moderation, when it's being regulated by a professional, okay? That's where people seem to miss this. People do not put the grasp on what it is to train at that level.
Right.
And to understand what it is to have to make a living at that level. What it is to understand to recover and be able to compete. And the bottom line is, that's why I'm not against it in that format. What you're saying, I don't disagree, because the guy's kind of been a jackass in the way they've handled it. They haven't been a jackass, and they did it so that the states would sanction them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
that's
of
what
course,
because you
100%.
need it. But at the end of the day, I think.
And it's even pathetic that different states sanction things differently.
Yeah, and to what you said before, the science is so ahead of the testing.
So ahead.
You're gonna play catch up forever and never catch them.
Correct.
So why are we playing this stupid fucking game?
That's my point.
Why are we-
and regulate it
why-
properly. What do you mean? But properly regulate it by having medical physicians.
Give the gorillas the juice. and
Exactly.
let's
But
watch-
let everyone do it and have it regulated.
Frank,
And
do you
that's
have an
what
answer
do.
for that question, or is that a rhetorical question?
I mean, it's
I'm
a little
curious,
bit.
I want the answer.
It's rhetorical, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, why are we? What's the real reason behind it?
What's the end game?
Yeah, what's the end game? Are you doing it because advertisers aren't going to give you those dollars because it seems like they're? But if society, you think society is really waking up to the facts that even with a I don't agree with everything, but you look at a drug like marijuana, a lot of people sit there and used to say X, Y, Z, but now it's got a medicinal point. I mean, shit, I hate to say it, like cocaine's a Schedule II drug because there's medicinal purposes for it.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, but the reality is if everything, we kind of talked about on the last podcast, everything within moderation, you can use something as a tool in the right manner, and you can use something as a tool in the wrong manner. The answer is the majority of the population really isn't educated on
don't.
steroids or whatever. They all think if you take steroids, you're going to be this big juice head, it's going to be like gorilla, but
and
whatever.
you're gonna die.
And that's someone who's abused the product. Whereas if you go to an endocrinologist and they weigh out everything and they look at, oh, you're low here, you're low here, you're low here, these are good, let's stabilize
For your
everything,
age
get you
group,
to where you're
there's blood
supposed to
work
be.
every corner,
Yeah, there's a
you know.
science there. But we play this whole teach it, it's a bad, like even the wording with Jones and how they're doing it, he didn't fail the drug test. There were some irregularities with his test.
That's a fact.
There were some unusual findings, like this wordplay that we play, this word speak. It's
But only for
bullshit.
him.
Only for him.
That's the problem.
And that's, again, I don't have an issue, dude. They want to take them, take them. If they don't want to take them, I don't care. I just want to see these two specimens of athletes, of human beings going, the sacrifice they put in, the time that they put in, the blood, the sweat, the tears, to watch them. Like, I would love to watch John Jones and DC go at it again. I would love to see DC win. Holy shit, what a story that would
and I
make.
both.
How unbelievable. At the same time, if he loses, I think even if he loses, it doesn't tarnish his reputation.
No, because this guy's already, he's got the asterisk already.
You know what I mean? I don't think it tarnishes it, but holy cow, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. If DC wins and he's holding his kids in the stadium and he's got both belts still, and then he beats him the
Well,
third.
guess what? He relinquished the belt.
I know.
He's not like he relinquished it so the other guy could take it. So that says more. It even says more about his character.
Sure.
But to what you got to remember, the one thing, these guys, these athletes, they got to worry about what supplements they take. It's not just
absolutely.
You got
There's things on the banned list, yeah.
Like you got to worry about taking a protein shake because it may have something in it that could come up. As
Even
a
pro
positive.
hormones, forget about it.
man.
Plant-based pro hormones, you got to be careful.
You can't there's so many things there's guys have to drink and breathe air.
But, to
and
answer-
drink and eat air.
to
You know what I
answer
mean?
his
That's
question-
what it comes down to.
To answer his question before, what's the answer? It just
The answer
is to educate everybody. But when you do,
The game
this,
should be consistency.
but that's my point. When you do this, instead of opening the floodgates and being real about it, when you do what the UFC is doing, where you play this word game because it's for John Jones for whatever reason,
Right.
whether it's because he helped you and USADA find out who's doing what with the drug game, or whether it's because he's a moneymaker, you're hurting the image of what it actually is to the public because they're going, oh, well, this is, well, I don't know, well, this is, well, I was on regular here, but it's not here, and you're fucking be real about what it is. Your body already produces it. You're bringing the levels to the point where your body can compete and recover. It's when we lie and skirt around what it really is. It's making the people who are actually trying to find out the information confused because they're getting false data.
Well, pissed off.
Well, the other
Pissed off.
thing too is you want to relate it is when you talk about ignorance but here remember people only want to hear what they want to hear when it comes to this type of stuff
Sure.
and process it. It's as simple as the whole marijuana craze, right? I make no bones about it. I want nothing to do with it. I want to want it around me. I'm old school in that sense, and I don't care what anyone says. Over time, it does two things. It kills your balls and your brains, period. And the reason that happens is because of the fact that it gets you high, okay? But if you're taking what's out of marijuana, what's the CBD, is that the oil?
CBD.
So now there's a lot of things where people are saying, okay, this CBD oil works. All right, sign me up. As long as it's not getting me high,
Yeah.
As long as there's no
I'm
THC.
with it.
yeah.
As long as it's not going to get me high, give me the CBD. But if you're telling me that CBD is going to get me high as well, then keep that shit. But people, they don't look at it that way. They're like, oh man, let me smoke weed because, the CBD. Let me eat the edibles because, it's got CBD. They want to get fucking high. That's the point.
Well, I think
They're
it goes
not-
back to what you're saying about alcohol too.
Yeah.
Have one beer, you're okay. Have a
Have a
12
case.
pack.
get popped up.
Right.
But I'm saying though, the marijuana issue right now, you related to this because it's not about what the fuck the plant can do. People want to get high.
Up, yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
Because give it to me, and I'm so anti that to a point where you can't even log it. But if you're telling me the CBD is not going to get me high, it's going to help me anti-inflammatory processes, it's going to help me with pain, help me with recovery, then I want to use it.
I'm interested.
I'm interested.
Me too.
But don't get me going on why people are using it, okay? And what they do is, like you talked about, now the CBD gets pushed to the side.
Yeah.
That's the secondary when it should be the primary.
Yeah, 100%.
It's about fucking getting high.
100%.
And bottom line, I'm going to say it again. Marijuana does 2 things to you over time, guaranteed.
Makes you hungry and makes you laugh a lot. Oh, wait, hold on.
Hey, send Chris to Woodstock.
Stand still.
It
got
does
it,
make you
Chris.
hungry and laugh a lot, though.
It does do that, but you're missing my point up again. Do you want to hit him?
Go ahead.
Hey, Chris, were
Okay.
you conceived at Woodstock?
No.
Strike 3.
Strike 3!
Let me say it again. It does 2 things to you over time, no matter what. No matter how you dress it up or want to say anything about it, long-term marijuana use does 2 things guaranteed. It takes away your balls and your brains.
Spark the ism, son.
Yeah, you spark the ism. Long-term, it takes away your balls and your brains. And if you don't think that's the case, then you're a fucking idiot. And that's why I'm going to leave it. It's just like going on mega doses of steroids in the black market, not thinking you're going to get sick from it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Period. End of story, man. And that's where it comes down to. So, like, I understand the frustration because I'm with you. But remember, it reverts back to one thing, guys. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
And if it makes
You know?
dollars,
It makes tons of sense.
they'll fucking sell their soul for it.
Exactly. You know, and that is the dark side of the business. It's the hurt business. They don't call the fight game the hurt business for a reason. It's not just what's happening in the ring or the cage. It's everything around it. It's the hurt business. Everyone's trying to hurt another guy to get theirs. That's how it works.
To get their bottom line.
Yeah, to get their bottom line. You know? So,
I'm curious to hear what y'all guys think. Would you like to see the UFC go full blown and just needle everybody up, or would you like to see everybody kind of pull it back and be on a fair playing ground? Would it be unfair if everybody was
or regulate it the way I've described.
correct, better wordage?
You know, regulate the way I describe. So, guys, leave your comments, concerns, criticisms, anything you guys got out there based on this topic matter, because we definitely want to revisit it. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. The Matt Chat Podcast, Paul Ciotto, Frank Ciotto, Christopher Shea, Peter Oberk. We will see you guys next time.
Pull that bow.
Nice!
Wow, that's a fast one.
One more time.
Hold on.
Release.
Right there. No, stop. I got to
Loose.
breathe. There it is.